At the Denver Mini Maker Faire last weekend, I sat down and talked to Paul Mueller, curator of TEDxFrontRange. I'm Lynn Barker, and welcome to Front Range Focus. Like many people, I wanted to know what TED is.
Well, TEDx is an initiative that TED launched about 5 years ago to bring TED-like experiences to communities, to the community level. And in fact, the original vision for TEDx that the folks at TED had was that it might be 2 or 3 couples who get together in somebody's home, maybe watch 2 or 3 TED Talks and have a discussion over coffee or dessert or wine or whatever it might be. And what's happened is there's people around the world like me who went and got a license, and we want to do everything possible to present a true TED-like program from the stage of our particular venue. The joke at TED is that a lot of the TEDx organizers are type A personalities, and we're all trying to outgun each other and outdo each other. So it creates kind of a healthy competition, and so you're able to bring that experience of watching a TED video and bring it to a live presentation at a very local level to address topics and issues that are really of interest in the local community.
For a novice like me, what is TED? Just what does TED stand for? A lot of people will hear the term TED, or they'll turn on Netflix and see TED Talks. So explain a little bit about what TED is and what its goal is.
Okay. TED has morphed over the years. In fact, they just celebrated their 30th anniversary. So they were formed in 1984, and TED originally stood for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, which if you go back to the mid-'80s, those were 3 really hot topics, and there were a lot of new rapid developments coming out in all 3 of those areas, and so this was developed as a platform to put the spotlight on those 3 particular areas. Chris Anderson, who's the current head of TED, acquired the rights to TED in the 90s, and he moved it slightly away from that strict, narrow focus into more of a broader thought leadership platform around the world. And at that time, they also modified their motto to be ideas worth spreading. So their idea is let's find people that have some great ideas, have never had the spotlight, never had a forum to really present those types of ideas, and let it go viral and see what happens to those ideas and what people do with those ideas and where they run with those ideas. And so, there have been talks. We're all seeing these 3D printers now. It's almost becoming pretty common now to see 3D printers, particularly at a Maker Faire event like this. And so one of the videos that they had I think it was about a year and a half ago, was a group, I think at Duke University, that were taking a 3D printer and beginning to use cells to build artificial organs. And while that science hasn't been perfected yet, there's a feeling we're not that far away where we'll be seeing 3D printers producing livers, kidneys, other types of things for transplant patients. So it's like taking that idea, let's blow it out there and see how we accelerate the development of those types of ideas.
How do people participate with TED? What do they take away from it?
That's probably one of the biggest questions we get as a TEDx organizer when we're either talking to prospective sponsors, which, by the way, we're always looking for sponsors, so I'll put that plug in there, and you can find information about us at TEDxFrontRange.com. Sorry for the shameless plug there. But we do get the question from people who may not be quite familiar with the TED model, that what is our agenda and what are we wanting people to get out of it? What's our objective? And we're a pretty open platform that we're providing a platform for folks to share their ideas, and what people take from that is what they take from it. There's no quiz at the end. There's nothing where we want to achieve some kind of an agenda, because we're a relatively agenda-free program. It's about the ideas, and it's what people take away from those ideas and how they're inspired. The best story I have is after our first event in May of 2012, and we had it on a Friday, and Friday night we were all pretty dead dog tired. And I got up Saturday and I figured I was going to take a whole day off and just relax. I got an email from one of our audience members who sent me an email and said, thanks so much for the program, and that she had been so inspired by the program that she went home that Friday night, picked up the violin that she hadn't played in 8 years, and spent the night playing her violin until her fingers bled. And she promised to herself, and she sent a promise to me saying she would never let her creativity lapse like that again. So each person takes something different away from the TED and the TEDx programs. It's up to us to present a quality program where people can be engaged with those speakers and those ideas.
Where can people find TED Talks, and especially you have one coming up on May 22nd. Tell us about that.
Well, TED Talks can be found at TED.com. Gosh, I can't even remember how many TED Talks there are now. It's probably in five figures now. But there is a neat little search tool that they have that you can search by topic, or if you've heard of a speaker's name, you can search by name, and it's pretty easy to navigate and find those. For us personally in Loveland, we have a website, TEDxFrontRange.com. We have all of our speaker bios on that page. We also have a page where we're looking for speakers for 2015. And it's a place for people who would like to be considered to be a speaker, or they can nominate somebody else who they think would be a phenomenal speaker, and we'll add them to our pool. Also on our site, we also have all of our 2013 videos because all TEDx programs are required to video their programs and upload those to the TED.com website. So you can find all of our videos at TED.com or TEDx.com.
How did you become involved with TEDx?
That's kind of an interesting backstory to my TED experience. I'm 58 years old and not your at least 4 years ago, was not your typical TEDster or TED follower. In fact, I'd never heard of TED. Our son went to work for TED in their New York City headquarters 4 years ago. He was out visiting us, and we'd only been in Loveland for 5 years at the time. So he was visiting with us, and I just happened to be mentioning to him how blown away we were with meeting some really creative, talented people. And just impressed that it seemed on a per capita basis, Colorado seems to corner the market on creative, talented people. And so his comment was, well, Dad, put on a TEDx event. And I told him, I said, that's the best idea I've heard in a long time. Only what the hell is a TEDx event? So he helped me get a license, and we got our license for TEDxFrontRange. And frankly, I didn't know what to do with that license because it's a pretty good undertaking to put one of these events on. But after talking and kicking the idea around with some people, we finally did organize our steering committee and put on our first event in May of 2012.
Is this the only TEDx program around?
Oh, by no means, and hopefully I've got this right. I believe the original TEDx program in the state of Colorado was DU. Since that time, there's about a dozen TEDx programs in the state of Colorado currently. I would encourage folks to go to the TED.com website. There is a link there to search for TEDx programs by city. For instance, I know there's one in Fort Collins, there's one in Vail, Boulder. Denver has a handful of TEDx programs. So I would encourage folks throughout the state, go to the TED.com website, look for TEDx conferences if there's one in your community or in your city. And if there is, that's a great way to plug in and get connected with a real creative community.
I'm Lynn Barker, and this is Front Range Focus. During the Makers Faire in May, I had the pleasure of talking to Paul Mueller, the curator of TEDxFrontRange. Do you have any events coming up that people can go to?
Yes, our next event is May 22nd, 2014 at the Rialto, the historic Rialto Theater in downtown Loveland. Again, you can go to our TEDxFrontRange.com website. Ticket information is there. All of our speaker information is there. We have folks from all across the Front Range who will be speaking, as well as some out-of-town folks, including Michael Holthouse from Houston, Texas. Michael is the founder of what's called Lemonade Day, which, by the way, launches on June 7th in Denver and has already launched in other parts of the country today. In fact, I've been watching Facebook posts from some friends in Galveston, Texas, whose Lemonade Day was today, and they're taking pictures and sending information about the different lemonade stands they're going to. It's a youth entrepreneurial program for kids to have their own lemonade stands and learn the basics of business, record keeping, profitability, marketing, all those kinds of things. And it's just caught wildfire across the country.
And I see, looking at the rundown, you have Face the Acapella group there. Do you know what they're going to be speaking about?
Well, they will be one of our performers, because TEDx events blend not only speakers but also performers, and we're also required to show a certain number of TED Talk videos that relate to our theme, which is DIY, doers, influencers, and you. I would encourage your listeners that if they've ever wanted to give a TED Talk, we have a page on our website called Your TEDx Front Range, and we're asking folks to submit videos of up to 3 minutes in length of their own TED Talk and their idea that they would like to share. And then we'll be judging those and showing one or two of those during our event on May 22nd.
Now, there are parameters that you ask people to follow when they upload their TEDx or their considerations of the TED Talks. Tell us what those are.
We have a very rigorous speaker selection process. We put a call out in October for our event the following May. For this particular year, with this topic, we had 86 submissions, which we narrowed down to the 17 presenters that will actually be on stage. So it's important for us to have that page right now that's seeking speaker inquiries for 2015. We just have a feeling that the bigger net we spread, the more proposals that come in, the better chance we have of really putting on a quality program that relates to the theme that we will choose for next year.
What are the boundaries you're looking for from these people who are going to upload the videos for your consideration?
Well, for people that upload these mini videos to our site, as well as the rules that apply to our speakers and the rules that apply to us through our license from TED, is we're not allowed to pursue a political agenda, a governmental agenda, or a religious agenda. So those are areas that we have to stay clear of. And there's also a concern of pseudoscience type issues as well. So we have to be careful about the folks that we do bring on. Again, the whole TED motto or the vision is this idea is worth spreading. So we're not trying to promote agendas. We're trying to put a spotlight on people that really that think or have really good ideas to have an engaged audience, then network with those folks on those ideas. So we try to say we don't preach to the audience. We don't want speakers telling us how to do what we need to do. We want speakers who tell us what they've done and what they've accomplished and how they've helped other people accomplish, because that's the really practical information that folks need. We don't need to be preached at. We just need some good ideas to spread.
I sat down with Marc Kray, marketing for TEDxFrontRange, and asked him a couple of questions. Marc, what are your attendees looking for when they attend one of your TEDx events?
I think every attendee is looking for something different. A lot of attendees are looking for inspiration, are looking to surround themselves with creative people, looking to learn from an expert in a particular field, or just looking to pick up some more information about any particular topic, just wanting to learn and gather information.
Tell me one more time about the event coming up in Loveland, Marc.
Our TEDxFrontRange event is coming up on May 22nd. Doors open at the Rialto Theater in downtown Loveland at noon. The event will kick off at 1 p.m. We'll go approximately till 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Tickets are available at TEDxFrontRange.com. Tickets are $35 each for general admission, $55 for VIP tickets, which includes better seating and a VIP reception following the event.
Paul, how can people help? Are there volunteer opportunities that people can take advantage of?
Oh, absolutely. There's it takes an army of volunteers to put on a TEDx event. Currently, our army is about 120 people right now. Most of those folks help us the day of the event with managing crowds and making sure things are set up properly. A lot of audio and video work that goes into the event. Folks that might be interested in volunteering for our event, again, can go to the TEDxFrontRange.com website. There is a page on there for where you can register for volunteer, and then one of our volunteer coordinators will get back with those folks and determine their level of interest, what they would like to participate in, and where we can help fit them into the program.
And of course, like you said earlier, you're always looking for sponsors. And if a sponsor's interested in contacting you, they can go to your website?
Yes. Absolutely. We have another page on our website specifically for, in fact, we really don't call them sponsors, we call them partners, because we're always looking for folks to partner with our program, and many of our partners then sponsor exhibitors at our events. So it's a way for exhibitors who may not have the economic means to exhibit their products to interrelate with our attendees, but our partners then provide that economic way to allow those exhibitors to be at our event. So it's a fun, interactive event. It's both a stage presentation as well as the interactive exhibit area.
That was Paul Mueller, Curator, and Marc Kray, marketing for TEDxFrontRange. For any more information about the upcoming event or to upload your presentation for consideration, please visit their website at TEDxFrontRange.com. With Front Range Focus, I'm Lynn Barker.